Good evening, everybody. How we doing? It's Wednesday, right? Wednesday? Welcome to the party. Hello. Am I all by myself tonight? I'm dancing like nobody's watching. I've got the moves like Jagger. Whoop, whoop. Jennifer's watching. Michelle, my belle. Hey, Jennifer. How's things in Florida? It's Tuesday? It's only Tuesday? Are you sure? Hey, Angie. Michelle. Oh, it's only Tuesday? Really? I can't look and talk to you at the same time. Hey, Jana. With a fresh vodka tonic and lime. I like it. Hey, Lori. Feels like it's been a year. It seems like each hour is a year lately. Toasty warm. All right. Well, we are still with bourbon tonight. Slightly different glass because my regular Quench chill glass is hasn't been washed yet. Actually, from yesterday. I used to have a set, and I only have one of them, and so this chill glass chills from the bottom. So I have bourbon from the bottom. It chills from the bottom up the side here. It works well, not as well as the other glass, but it does work well. Keep it chilled and doesn't melt into my glass. And so we're doing bourbon again for our friends at True Fashionistas. So Brad hopefully has opened the bourbon for you, Jennifer, because this is all about keeping our senses going. Hey, Heather, how's things in Iowa? Right? Iowa for Heather. And I see the Evans are watching in Illinois. Hope and positivity. Yes, that is what we are here for. This is why it's a party. It's a positivity party. It's all about being positive. Life is a blessing that is too short. Hey, Vina, Indiana has chimed in here. Welcome to the party, Vina. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Yes, I wanted it to be Wednesday, but it's only Tuesday. So how's everybody's Tuesday going? I really, I don't know why I thought it was Wednesday, but it is only Tuesday. I have been corrected here. I got yelled at first thing this morning for not sleeping in. At 7:30, I was getting yelled at by one of you. And for not sleeping in like I said I was going to yesterday, and I slept in till almost 7. I mean that's pretty good. So and I don't even know how they caught me responding to things at that point, but I was, and hey Kitty. All right, see, I'm not alone thinking it's Wednesday. Thank you, Vina. I appreciate that. They spent dollars. That's awesome, Heather. That is great. I am glad that people are spending money. People are anxious to spend money. They will spend again. There is a lot of money sitting on the sidelines right now in this economy. And they will spend again. And I know a lot of us, we added a lot more states since we last talked. Well, see, Angie, Facebook, you can never believe stuff on the internet. We've had a lot more states shut down businesses in the last 24 hours. So a lot more are joining that crowd of people that are shut down. So that is a hot topic with all of you for tonight. And the biggest question I'm getting is, does that mean I can't be in my store? And in almost all cases, you can still be in your store. There are very limited, New York City being the biggest, where you're completely like shelter in place. But even that isn't in its entirety. But outside of that, you are allowed to be in your store. You're not allowed to be open. Some areas, and it really depends. There's so many people coming out with regulations on this, but most are allowing you to be in your store. Some are allowing curbside pickup. Some, again, local regulation matters here, okay, on that. and some local regulations are allowing curbside pickup. Massachusetts, for one, is not allowing curbside pickup. So we are allowed to be in our stores in Massachusetts, but we are not allowed to offer curbside pickup to our customers or any type of in-store pickup. We can't allow them to come in the building. So, but we can be in there, we could be doing videos, we can be painting, we can be cleaning, we can be getting more merchandise ready for whenever this all ends. And it will end. It is absolutely positively going to end, and we are one day closer to it all being over. Okay? And I know all the news reports that are talking about, Massachusetts says we can reopen on April 7th, and the president says, no, we can't take it out to them, Diane, in Massachusetts. But other states are allowing that. Most other states are allowing that, but we can't in Massachusetts. President is saying Easter that we'll all be set free. The reality is, from the common man perspective, put politics aside, put science aside, none of that matters right now, because no common man nobody has ever seen this in their lifetime before, okay, it is, and no one believes what they're saying, and they don't believe it because there's nothing to support it. Okay, there's no signs, glimmers of hope in people's that are pointing to that. And I don't say that to be dark. I just say it to acknowledge the elephant in the room. I don't have a trunk going here, but if I had a trunk going, yeah, I would have an elephant in the room. And that's not to call them liars. It's just there's not enough evidence to show it yet. I am optimistic and hopeful that we do hit the date of April 7th in Massachusetts. A crystal ball would be absolutely fabulous. I could do so much with that. I think even a magic 8-ball would do us well right now. And maybe I can come up with one of those tomorrow when I'm in the store. Today I took the day not to be in the store as our first day of being closed. And actually I was on the phone with most of you most of the day. So you all know where I was. And I was rewriting my April article for the Nart's newsletter, and I just read the preview of everyone's articles a little while ago for the April newsletter, and I'll tell you, it's a great newsletter. It's factual, it's timely. We're taking on the beast. All of us are taking it on in our own artistic way of writing, and we're helping you get there. There's a couple jerkish stories. But you got to keep in mind, we've survived 100% of everything that we had thrown at us over the years. I mean, let's not forget the graphic that I have shown you over and over again. Okay? Dumpster fires, bomb squad, copper out of our rooftop AC units to boot, vandalism, lawsuits, the fire department, embezzlement, theft, attempted murder. These are just some of the things we have survived. Just some of the things. And pandemic will be added to that. Okay? These things do not define us. This is not what defines us. Okay? All the things that we've been through, they become footnotes in our story. They do not become the stopping line in our story. They become something that we step over. That we step through, that we get through to get to the other side. To get to the better place. To get where we're going. To get that money that's sitting on the sidelines in this economy. So we're going to get there. We will absolutely get there, and we're going to get there together, because together we are stronger. Here, on my notes, I actually have on my notes for today that it is Tuesday. I guess if I had looked at my own notes, I would have realized it was Tuesday. And I honestly had none of this bourbon. That's why I was a minute or two late to the call, because I'm like, I haven't poured a drink for tonight, and then I had to go looking to see that my glass was not in the freezer. It was dirty. So one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was decompressing from all of life, okay, and all the real world stuff that's going on in the world. And how do you tune some of this out? How do you turn it off? Well, you hit the off button. But what do you guys do to decompress? I've heard from some of you do yoga. I don't think I can do a tree or anything. Or how do you hop? Is it tree, knee? I'm not doing yoga. Some of you exercise. Okay. A couple of you like, it's not like kickboxing or something, but it's like sport boxing or something. I'm screwing up the fit boxing, fit club, fight club. I don't know. You do that. Some of you watch old March Madness tapes to decompress. Some of you do all sorts of things. One of the things I do, and when I shut off, and it's one of the things I honestly do after this long day of calls and after this video, I will go eat dinner, and I will turn on what my father would call the boob tube, okay, the TV, and I will turn to something funny. I'm like, I need... You color in one of those adult coloring. Bake cookies. I like cookies and cupcakes. I love cookies and cupcakes. And I love your cookies and cupcakes, Jennifer. I've had those. But I watch something completely funny, okay, that doesn't require me to think, that's really light. And unfortunately, some of what I've been watching lately that's funny falls way too close to home. A couple of the shows I've been watching lately are The Goldbergs, and I watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon. And if you watch either of those shows, and if any of you that have seen me speak at NARTS, okay, who is in my first slide that I show at any NARTS conference? Any guesses? Anybody with a memory of who's on the first slide when I speak at a NARTS conference? Anybody remember? Who do I show a picture of? Do 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 do. Okay, nobody's with me on that. That's okay. I will refresh your memory. It's the person who says I'm the loud one. Okay, who will actually never accuse me. Oh, no, I end with my dad, Vina. I end with my dad in the pharmacy. I end with my dad. I start with my mom. That is correct. I always start with my mom. And if you happen to watch an episode of The Goldbergs or Mrs. Maisel, you will see that the mom in both those shows is a cross of my mother. Okay? It is a total, I mean, it is like way too close to home how both of those are like dead Jewish mother on target with what my mother was. Okay, and she would be so proud to hear me talking about her because she always loved that I was that she was in all my presentations. That when she found out, and it had been after I'd been using it for years. I'd been using a picture of her in my presentation for years, and really it's part of my warm up to public speaking. She just beams that she was part of every presentation. And she would laugh really hard now to know that I watch these shows and that, oh my God, I'm like, this is my childhood, this is her, it is like that. But that's part of how I decompress, that's part of how I forget about everything that's going on in the real world, that's part of how I forget about all the heavy things that I have to think about, decide on, or help with in the day. And that's just part of it. It's not the bourbon that helps me forget all that, it's just I go to a different place in life. And so you need to have that place in your life, whatever that is, whether that's kickboxing, whether that's walking in the park, whether that's yoga, whether that's what, for some of you, it's honestly watching this video. You've told me that this is helping you decompress in the day. Whatever is helping you to do that at these times, especially at these times, is so important to take that time to bake cookies, whatever it is. You know, that is maybe it's like Melissa and you want to try different shades of lipstick to see if something works different than Russian red. But whatever you do, you need to take that time and decompress. Because you have to take care of you. I've had a lot of things from people in the last few days. This is going to put me out of business. I'm going to go out of business because of this. We'll never survive this. things are tough. We're tough, and this is going to put me out of business. One of the things I got to remind you, okay, as they talk about all the people that are out of work, just everything else that's going on in the economy and in the world right now, it is you are truly a special person, okay? And that's not because your mommy told you so, okay? It's because you are. Well, maybe it's because your mommy told you so too, but you are. You're a special kind of crazy person, okay? It takes an insanely crazy person to say, hey, I'm going to take my savings, or I'm going to borrow money, and I'm going to take my family's savings, and I'm going to go and I'm going to open a business, and the heck with it, I'm going to put my own name on it. I'm going to go out there and tell people who I am and hang that out there. That is a special kind of crazy. That takes a special kind of person. And that special kind of crazy superwoman and superman, we've got a couple men in this group, okay, is what's going to get us to the other side of this, okay? That is how we climb over this, okay? And that's how we get to the other side, because the special kind of crazy person is the one that's climbing over the wall first, the one that's pulling everybody behind them, the one that's pushing people up the wall, the one that's helping people through it. That takes a special kind of person, and that's the special kind of person that's going to get us to the other side of this in business. This is not going to put you out of business. This is not going to be what defines you. This is going to be a footnote in your story. Sometime you're going to look back and you're going to be like, the pandemic. We did it we went up the hill with the pandemic, down the hill with the pandemic, and we were doing live videos, okay? And we did that, and we fought our way through it, okay? We're going to get to the other side of it. With that, the biggest thing that I've had from everybody has been about cash, okay, or lack of cash, okay? Hang on to cash, take care of what's important. Food on your plate, keep your belly full, okay? Keep fed, because if you keep fed and you keep your family fed, you live to fight another day, okay? Keep the heat on in the house if you need heat, or air conditioning on. None of the utilities are going to shut you off. Nobody's going to shut you off. I've actually had heard from countless people today that I've talked to today that have been reaching out to their vendors, okay, for whatever, whether it's their landlords, their credit card companies, who they have a loan with, who they have an auto loan with, okay, and some of them are being exceptionally easy to work with. They're have it set up on their website. When you sign into your account on the website, how many months do you want to defer? You want to defer 1 month, 2 months, 4 months? What do you want to defer? All of them are waiving penalties, but some of them are waiving interest. Some of them will tell you interest will still accrue. Some of them are, everybody has been easy. The only creditor that I have heard being difficult right now has been Citibank, and they'll get over it, okay? But hang on to cash. Pay your consignors, pay your staff. Okay, those are the important things that help your business live to fight another day. Okay, your electric company will wait. Your landlord will wait. That's not to say that you're never going to pay these people. Some of the landlords have been extremely generous. Others don't know what they're going to do yet, and that's not unfair to them. It's not fair to ask them necessarily, what are you going to do for me? Part of the problem with this is we don't know, hey, Laura, how are you? We don't know the end. So to have a landlord say they're going to give you April rent off or add April rent to the end of the lease or something doesn't help you if this is still going on in May. We all hope it's not, but some businesses are trying to deal with it in a bigger fashion, and some landlords, but they all have costs, okay? I had one of mine reach out to me today just to find out what was happening on the street, what was really happening in the world, what was happening with employees, what's happening in the economy, and we talked about it. And he gets it, okay? He gets how we're all intertwined. So that's really important. Just communication. Communicate with your stakeholders and you'll be fine, but hang on to cash for what's important, okay? The other thing that's been getting Citibank bad press today is, for some people, they're just wholesalely just going across and shopping credit card credit limits across the board in whole groups. With no rhyme or reason, people that never use their Citibank card once a year or whatever. Citibank's taking some drastic measures. I think they're going to get some pressure, and a week from now, Citibank will be looking at this differently than they are now. But that is the only creditor out of everybody that I've heard has been doing things like that. Everybody else, all the big guys, the little guys have been unbelievably working with people, but the big guys have as well. Citibank is the only one that I've heard a problem with today. If you have had a SBA disaster loan from a previous disaster, and I know some of you have had hurricanes, from floods, other natural tornadoes, other natural disasters, that you actually have an SBA disaster loan, not an SBA bank loan, an SBA not a regular SBA loan for your business, an SBA disaster loan like I'm telling you to apply for because of this pandemic. Okay, if you have one of those, automatically, effective immediately, you don't have to call, you don't have to do anything. SBA is deferring all payments on disaster loans through the end of the year. Your next payment is now due in January if you have an SBA disaster loan. I believe they will be doing something looking to do something for regular SBA loans, but those are written through local banks, okay? And the SBA guarantees those, which is different than a disaster loan where SBA is the direct lender. So it's handled a little differently, and there's a lot more moving parts with it, but I believe they will be doing something for that from the SBA. But in the meantime, you can contact the lender that services your loan for that and ask for deferments. I've been hearing again and again how flexible everyone is being. So reach out and hang on to the cash for the things that matter right now. Okay? Keeping your belly fed, keeping your employees paid, for whatever staff you still have on, keeping your consignors paid. Okay? Again, I've heard from several people that are expecting that when they're allowed to reopen, the first person that's going to show up, that there's going to be a line like at Costco is right now of people lined up waiting to get paid. You are not that important. I love you. You're a valuable asset to your community, but you are not that important. The same people that show up every month whenever you release payments for your particular store will absolutely show up. Okay? They're the same ones. I mean, I can tell when we have check day, I can tell you exactly who's going to show up in the first 48 hours. Okay? Without fail, who's going to be there. Okay? Those will be the same people that show up in your world. I've been asked, what do you say to consignors that are asking about their money now, that are emailing in, messaging on Facebook? I've had several statements, but this is the one I like the best. And I'm going to read it to you, and I will post verbiage from it later. Hi there. Thanks for reaching out. Our store is temporarily closed as of blah, blah, blah day due to the COVID-19 outbreak. We had to do our civic duty to make sure that we protect our employees, our families, and our customers. We please ask that you be patient with us during this very difficult time for everyone. Once the store is back up and running, we will notify you. Please be sure to stay safe and healthy. The only line in this that I don't like, that I'm going to tweak a little bit, is that once the store is back up and running, we will notify you. And I'd like to say that that we look forward to notifying everyone that the store is open again, or something along those lines. I'm going to tweak that tonight. That may take a little bourbon twist later on, and I'm going to tweak that one line. But this is an excellent letter, and it's been met with fabulous response. Absolutely fabulous response. That's correct, Lord. They are going to be lining up to sell. They are going to be lining up to bring you merchandise. That is who's going to be lining up, is people to bring you stuff. We will have lines out the door. All our baskets will be filled with incoming. There will be nonstop incoming, and there will be shoppers because there will be pent-up demand. There is money sitting on the sidelines. There will be more money sitting on the sidelines by the time we're allowed to reopen. So, getting ready to take advantage of that, that's what we plan on working on when we're in store, in the coming days, is just making the store, our stores in the best shape, ready to be reopened. But I will post verbiage from that letter later, and I'll do my little bourbon twist to it, because I just want to clarify how they will. That's the only line I don't like of it, is I don't want people to think that we're going to reach out to them individually. There'll be some sort of mass email, and quite honestly, they're going to be getting back to life, okay? When everything reopens, you are not the first thing they're going to. And if they are coming to you, they're coming to bring the pile of stuff that's now sitting in their cars that they've loaded up to bring to you, and that is what they are coming for. They are not, first and foremost, coming for the money. It's just not going to happen. Again, I continue to remind you to focus on your span of control. Your stress level goes down when you don't worry about what you can't control. You can't control what the governor is going to say, what your mayor is going to say, what the news media is going to say, what anybody's going to say. You can't control what your mother-in-law is going to say, okay? Focus on what you can control, okay, and work from there. Okay, and don't be putting all these things in your head of what people are thinking or doing, or that everybody is just sitting there waiting to come in to collect all their money. It is not going to happen. Okay? Do not forget that, this is the hope broadcast, because hope is more contagious than fear, and it's certainly more contagious than the coronavirus. Our hope and what we share here is what's carrying us forward and what's going to ride us through this. Right now, okay, to steal a line from Dave Ramsey, we're living like nobody else. The whole country is, okay? We're living like this so that someday, and it will be soon, we will live like nobody else. We'll be able to out there and party and everything else, and customers will be looking for that opportunity to come and celebrate in your stores. So be there, be ready for them, and be thinking about, the I survived the coronavirus party, which is probably not the right term to use, but thinking about how you're going to market to these people. Marketers always win, okay? You guys watched Melissa last night, and she's been talking about her circle and what she's been doing. This, what she's doing for online sales wasn't built since the coronavirus, okay? It's been built over time and over years. So marketers always win. So during this time, have you noticed how many emails from stores and things you've been getting? Furniture stores, you got to notice how many emails you're getting from Wayfair. Okay, they're constantly advertising everything from bidets to freezers to couches. They're just advertising the heck out of everything. My email box is full with them multiple times a day. Okay, people aren't unsubscribing from these things, so send your emails. Email marketing. I will post a link. The webinar that Snap Retail did is recorded, so I will post that. Tap Mango is doing a webinar tomorrow. Okay, and I'm not sure if that's been posted in Narts, but I will post that in Narts. And the Elevar, I think it's Elevar, I'm going to screw up my names here, is doing one on Shopify tomorrow. So these are all important webinars, and it's just knowledge. Take the knowledge, apply it to your world, apply what's happening with Shopify if you have Xcart, if you have WooCommerce. Take the ideas, take the marketing ideas. I know you may not like receiving 12 emails from Wayfair a day, but your customers are okay receiving communications and live video updates and emails from you. They're hungry for something that isn't the news. Okay, they're looking for an outlet. So marketers always win. They always win, and this is, comes back to the pink calculator. I haven't really had the pink calculator out here, okay, but marketing's a numbers game, and the numbers have shifted because of the virus and everybody being stuck at home, but it's still a numbers game. How many emails, how many contacts, how many videos do you have to do to get that one sale? Okay? and each no, from the sake of a marketer, okay, each unopened email, each unclicked link, each item that somebody didn't buy during Melissa's video, that gets her that closer, okay, to the next one, to the next yes. Keep that in mind, because that gets us one step closer. That's all this is. Marketing is a numbers game, and you have to be marketing now more than ever. Promote, promote, promote. You know, this isn't the end, it's a new beginning. One of the things I wanted to ask, okay, because we've had so much that everybody has been going through, and I'm not a big journaler, but I know there are several people on here. I mean, Angie probably has 4 journals sitting right in front of her right now. Okay, but one of the things I want to ask you for, and I think I'm going to make this a daily part of our broadcast, is what are you grateful for? It doesn't have to be a big thing. It could be that the daffodils came out today. It could be, well, in my case, I'm glad the snow melted today, although we got a decent amount of it. What are you grateful for? Put it in the comments here. Tell me what you're grateful for. Give me something that you're grateful for today. Something that struck you, something that happened to you, something that, you saw a rainbow. The littlest things. Don't look for big things. What little things in your world are you grateful for today? Tell us in the comments what you're grateful for, because we're all grateful for something, okay? And we're all going through a tough time. I mean, your family. Perfect, Jennifer. Exactly. We're packing up Rebecca today at college, or let me phrase that. Cassandra was packing up Rebecca. That was her outlet today. All your wonderful employees. Again, that's an important thing. They are family, okay? To many of us, they are an extension of our family. I found out one of my employees is having a boy, okay? And she's pregnant and she's having a boy today. So, we'll have a new cutie patootie coming, and it's going to be a boy. And that is news I found out today. So that's a blessing. Okay? So count all your little blessings, all the things that you're grateful for. The birds outside singing. Support from our Narts family. Your daughter's now FaceTiming you every day. And you get to see your granddaughter every day. That's awesome. These are all blessings. These are all amazing things to be grateful for. In a world that can be so dark at times, remember what you're grateful for. And we're going to have this as part of our daily thing of what you're grateful for as we do these things. Remember, as we go through this, and I've said it a lot, that, I get most of my calls start out with somebody embarrassed. They didn't want to come to me for something. They didn't want to post it in the group, in the Narts group. They didn't want to talk about it. They were embarrassed. They were afraid of being judged. This is a judgment-free zone, and it's not about pride. It's about getting to the other side, okay? It is all about getting to the other side. We are walking this path together, and we are going to get to the other side. So that is what we're worried about traveling. That we're hand in hand together. That is what you have to know, and nobody is judging, and least of all me. When you reach out to me, ask to anybody that's talked to me, anybody that's ever sat down in a corner at conference with me, okay? That calculator is calculating their path. It's not calculating judgment. This is a judgment-free zone, okay? I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to help people get to the other side, to walk the path. One of the things, so we've talked about fraud a little bit in earlier videos. Again, keep an eye on that bank account to make sure you're not having any fraudulent transactions, you're not clicking on any fraudulent emails. The other thing to keep in mind is your cash drawer and safe in your stores, okay? This is a good time to clear that out and take it home, okay? And take that as something, take that cash out of the building. Not only because you run the risk of getting broken into, but desperate times, desperate things happen, and it removes temptation from a good employee who's up against the wall and doesn't want to admit it. okay, and doesn't know what to do or where their next meal's coming from, doesn't know how to readjust their budget, doesn't know what's important, okay, and hanging on to cash. I've been talking to my team about the importance of that, okay, of hanging on to cash and what's important to pay and calling their creditors that they're going through this with. But, that side of it becomes very important. So, I've removed all the cash out of our buildings. The only thing that's left is, I think, I might have to get my petty cash out of my warehouse, and I've left coin because I didn't want to carry it all. But I didn't need the excess weight. But we want to remove that temptation and get it out of the picture so that it's there for you on the other side. Can you pause workman's comp while our employees are laid off? I'll have some insurance answers hopefully tomorrow. I've got a meeting tomorrow about insurance with that's going to cover a lot of the issues with insurance. There's a lot of interesting things that are being looked at for all levels of insurance. In the meantime, that's the one other bill that I'm advising you get paid. The thing that the insurance companies aren't set up for, their whole system is designed around a date and time. Okay, 12:01 a.m., things cancel. Okay, they don't know how to work beyond that. Okay, and so that's been one of the things they've been working with the government on in how they deal with this and what they do. So I am involved in a meeting tomorrow that is dealing with that very situation and how the government and business is going to respond to that and what options they're going to allow with that. So in the short run, make sure your insurance policies are paid if they're due in the next couple of days. I do hope. And it's across all insurances. It's health, dental, vision, life insurance, workers' comp, property insurance, auto insurance, any type of insurance you have. They're really trying to work something on that because it's a real issue. But there isn't a deal on that, and that's one of those things that's really automatic in the way that it's designed. It's either in effect or it's not. And so right now you want to make sure that stays in effect. Cash. One of the sayings that I've had, and it's from other stories, but you're never going to be successful in business if you're not in business. And that just reiterates we have to get to the other side. We have to get to the point where we're all back open and that we're all doing things. So remember that. You will be successful in business because you're still in business. And that's an important thing to remember. And just to give you the gravity beyond retail, one of the statistics I was dealing that was thrown at me today was the fashion industry in New York. And I know my friend Laura goes to the fashion shows in New York and Fashion Week in New York City because she's a highfalutin type. I'm picking on you, Laura. I love you. And I love Sue and Diana, and so I'm just jealous, really, is what it comes down to. I want to go to Fashion Week. I want to walk the catwalk. Could you see me on the catwalk? You got to know somebody. You guys got to know somebody that you could get me in an outfit on the catwalk, okay? I mean, I could strut my stuff down the catwalk, okay, for you. You got to know somebody that can hook me up with that. But the fashion industry in New York City represents nearly 5% of the private workforce, not including retail stores in New York City. So they're not counting people that work in a clothing store in New York City in that 5%, okay? But they are 5% of the workers of the private workers in New York City work in fashion. That's huge. I mean, it's just showing you the gravity of how this is affecting all different sectors of the economy, and that those people have been laid off, and what that's doing to the economy. I'm going to post the recorded webinar. Tap Mango's doing their webinar. We've talked about cash. See what else I got here. We got that wording. That's coming tomorrow because that's not finished. I'm going to save that for my ending. And I've gotten a lot of different things about the politics of everything, and one of the things with politics, I just want to, politics don't have a place in a lot of our discussion except for understanding what comes out of it. And one of my buddies that does a lot of the trips with me to Washington, D.C. today, we were talking, and he, put this into a good phrase. He's really smart like that. And he's like, the folks in Washington are arguing about $2 or $3 trillion of quote-unquote stimulus, as though stimulus will make the virus go away, okay? I'm going to spray stimulus on this virus. Corona, go away. I am spraying stimulus on you. And that is not going to make the coronavirus go away. And they are planning a recovery before they have any idea how much damage is being done by the massive shutdown. So this is just one phase of whatever comes out this week, and I think the government will come out with something this week. I don't think they will go home at the end of the week without coming up with something. This is just one step. But again, that's why I keep on telling you, apply for the SBA loan, because that is a done deal. I think there's going to be some other things that'll be great. And, we need to get to the other side of this. So do the part. And I know our friends in Canada, from our stores in Canada, I know the Canadian government is working on things too. I've been keeping abreast of some of that. That is still in process, but I am confident that Parliament there will probably do something quicker than the Congress in the United States, just based on past experience. I'm going to cover that. And sort of my ending tonight, and again, do not hesitate to contact me. Really, really, ask anybody, okay? I have been taking calls all day long. I respond to every email. I get back to people, or I answer questions anonymously during this, okay? Except for when I call Laura out about getting me in Fashion Week so I can strap my stuff, okay? But, we are all in this together. Hey, Pauletta, it's great to have you on here tonight. And so tonight's lesson and closing lesson is 5 lessons in life from Dr. Seuss. Today you are who you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Why fit in when you were born to stand out? You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Today I shall behave as if this is the day I will be remembered. Okay, everybody, you are not alone running this store. I am Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com. You can catch the replay. I've organized all the videos Melissa, Julie, and I have been doing on a YouTube channel. You go to YouTube and you search for You're Not Alone Running This Store. Message me on Facebook. Call me. Most of you have my phone number. Any way you need me, I am there to help you get to the other side of this, because you are not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8, everybody. Have a great night.